Oh.
Hello, my name is Kristina Jefferson, and I'm going to give you guys a speech on service and also planning for a party and presentation on your different types of service. There's a lot of things that go into service when you're planning a party. Your food choices, the amount of guests that you're going to have, the different types of dishes that you'll be presenting, the amount of dishes that you're going to be presenting. All of those things go into the grand scheme of planning an event. And when you're planning an event, it can be kind of nerve-wracking and just not knowing exactly what type of service goes perfectly with the group that you're having or the type of food or how formal or how informal that you would like the event to be. The reason why we want to learn all this information is because it's going to lead to better enjoyment of your party. And when you enjoy your party better, then you're a better host to your guests. So we're going to start with the easiest and the probably the most used type of service, which is buffet service. Buffet service is defined as a wide variety of foods at a central location to which guests help themselves to it. The maintenance is pretty low. You just replenish the food as it is needed in the different serving receptacles. You can do a lot to present the the food very well, as we can see in our first visual aid. We have buffet service. The different types of presentation we're going to be talking about is, the first one is varying heights. As you can see in this example here, we have food placed at different heights, and each of the food is displayed monochromatically, which can actually work very well, especially when you have such a blank backdrop. So when you put all the colors together, they kind of pop against the neutral background. Also, the different heights kind of lead to more drama in the food because you're seeing it at different levels in your vision. Other similar dishes using similar dishware can also lead to good presentation. In this picture we see that it's a more formal and a more elegant buffet, and where we're using crystal, and they're clear crystal, so they're all the same type of serving dish. That way your food really pops against any type of serving dish that you use. That way you can get more color in there. You can also use large centerpieces as a focal point in your buffet. It leads to a good visual that'll focus right in for your guest. And another one that is more traditionally used, which is a little less formal, is you'll see kale or collard greens around the platter of the dishes. Also monochromatically in this picture you can see the different melons that kind of draws your eye in and makes it a little bit more interesting. The second type of service that you can use is sit-down service. Sit-down service is more formal. It's served tableside. Each dish is served tableside, and each dish is plated separately for each guest. This requires more maintenance due to the fact that you have to prepare each dish and then bring it out to the guests individually. When you serve it tableside, it's important to remember that you're going to go around the guest, not to intrude upon their personal space, and then also to make sure that you're setting things down without putting your hands in the food. There's advantages to this type of service, such as the formality of it. You're going to have the same portion size for each guest, so you're going to have a little bit more control over how much food you're going to have. The only thing that can be a hindrance to this is if you don't know specifically how many guests that you're going to be having at your event. That way you can't really plan to specifically for that. Some disadvantages also include that it's very labor intensive. If you're a person that's not well adept to the kitchen, it's probably better that you use a service that requires large amounts of food to come out rather than each personal separate plate. We can see different ways to present. There's also a very wide range of different ways that you can present your sit-down service. The first one we have here is a stacked presentation, in which your protein is stacked upon your accompaniments. This one is a chicken breast stacked upon a rice and collard green accompaniment. We have some golden raisins in there, which add for some more color. And you can also use your ingredients as a part of your presentation. You also have sliced in fan, in which we see the meat that is good and has good caramelization on the outside and good color in the inside, where you can slice that and fan it out. It creates a good draw, especially in the contrast with the bright red plate. We also see here herbs and mint leaves are a good use. You can use individual leaves or a cluster of leaves. We see this most often in desserts, such as in these cupcakes. The leaf kind of draws a different contrast to the white frosting that you see. also have ingredient garnishes, such as the pecorino cheese that we see in this dish. It's shaped lightly over the dish, which adds a little contrast to the brightness of the colors. It also has Fast, Easy, and Fresh. This is a set of Bon Appetit magazine in which you can see these different types of service, in which you can use colorful ingredients to include more color into your dishes. The last type of service that we're going to discuss is family style service. This is the least used of most services in formal occasions. It's normally used day to day throughout your house, as you can see. But there's advantages to this, as it can be a conversation starter. It's formal but less stuffy. And disadvantages are the guests are going to be passing the dishes around the table, so it can create spills. As we see in the display here, there's different ways to present family style service as well, such as citrus slices throughout the meat, and also bright colored ingredients. We also see sliced meats and also chopped herbs used as a part of that. They're placed on large serving platters and allows you to let the guests serve themselves. Overall, it's important to make sure that the type of service that you use is appropriate to the occasion, appropriate to the guests that will be there, whether they be children or adults, and it's appropriate that you're comfortable with that type of preparation. Thank you for your time.
Good. Okay.